I'm Alex, 88 years old, and most of what once filled my days is gone now. The house is quiet in a way it never used to be, and sometimes I sit here,
wondering how so much noise, so many people, so many plans could disappear without making a sound. I'm not telling this because I need to be heard.
I'm telling it because I don't have much time left to carry it alone, and because some things only become clear when there's almost nothing left to distract you from them.
My mornings are slow now. I wake up before the sun, not because I want to, but because my body doesn't know how to sleep in anymore. The bed beside me is empty. It has been for years. I still reach out sometimes, half asleep, before I remember. I make coffee for one. I drink it at the same table where we once argued about bills, laughed over nothing, planned trips we never took. The table is smaller than it used to feel. Or maybe I am. Time does that. It shrinks things. Or maybe it reveals their true size. People think old age brings answers. What it really brings is quiet. And in that quiet, you finally hear the questions you avoided your whole life. When I was younger, I thought what mattered was being useful, being reliable, being someone others could count on. I thought love was proven through sacrifice, through showing up tired, through putting your own wants on a shelf for later. Later always seemed so reasonable back then. I grew up in a time when you didn't talk much about feelings. You worked, you provided, you stayed. That was the measure of a good life. And I believed it. Not blindly, thoughtfully. It made sense. I got married young. We were practical people. We needed each other, and we cared for each other, and that felt like enough. We talked about the future in general terms, a house, children, stability. We didn't talk much about fear or longing or what we might regret one day. Those seemed like luxuries. I worked long hours, not because anyone forced me to, but because it felt right, because I was good at it, because people depended on me. There's a certain pride in being needed, and I mistook that pride for purpose. When the kids were little, I told myself they wouldn't remember these years anyway. When they were teenagers, I told myself they needed independence. When they were grown, I told myself they were busy building their own lives. Every stage had a reason. That's the dangerous part. It all made sense at the time. The days were full. Alarm clocks, commutes, meals eaten quickly, conversations postponed. I can still see myself coming home tired, sitting down without really arriving, listening without hearing, answering questions with half my attention somewhere else. I wasn't cruel. I wasn't absent in the way people imagine absence. I was there, just not all the way there. And no one complained. That's another thing that fools you. When people stop asking, you assume everything is fine. You don't realize they've learned to live without you. The cost didn't come all at once. It came in small, forgettable moments. A school play I missed because of work. A conversation that felt too heavy to start late at night. An apology I planned to make when things calmed down. They never really do. I told myself I'd make it up later, that I would slow down later, that there would be time. Time was always the thing I assumed I had. Years pass quietly when you're busy. They don't announce themselves. One day you realize your children don't call as often, not out of anger, just habit. They built a life that didn't include waiting for you. My marriage changed without a single argument marking the moment. We became efficient partners instead of companions. We handled logistics well. We talked about groceries and appointments and repairs. We stopped talking about ourselves. I noticed the silence, but I didn't know what to do with it. So I filled it with more work, more responsibility, something useful. When my wife got sick, it wasn't dramatic at first, just tiredness, missed steps, doctor visits that felt routine. Then suddenly, nothing was routine anymore. Sitting in hospital rooms gives you too much time to think, too much time to remember things you assumed you could forget. I watched her sleep, machines humming softly, and I tried to recall the last time I asked her what she wanted, not what needed to be done, what she wanted. I couldn't remember. She died on a Tuesday, the kind of ordinary detail that stays with you. After the funeral, people went back to their lives. I went back to an empty house. Grief isn't loud the way people expect. It's repetitive. It's realizing you don't need to buy her favorite cereal anymore. It's hearing a joke and having no one to tell it to. I told myself I had done my duty, and I had. But duty, I learned too late, is not the same thing as closeness. After she was gone, I thought I'd finally have time to reflect, time to reach out, time to fix what I could. But time feels different when you're old. It moves faster and slower at once. Days drag, years vanish. Some things can't be repaired once too much time has passed. Not because people don't care, but because they've learned to live around the absence. Friends drifted away. Some moved, some died. Some simply stopped calling. Not out of malice, just the way lives separate when there's no effort holding them together. I used to think being remembered was automatic, that if you lived long enough, you left an impression just by existing. I was wrong. Being remembered requires presence, not perfection, presence. Now, at 88, with most of my days behind me, what matters has become painfully simple. It's not the years I worked. No one asks about those anymore.
It's not the things I owned. Most of them are already gone or waiting to be. What matters are the moments I didn't rush through, the times I sat and listened without checking the clock, the rare evenings when I let myself be still with the people I loved. Those moments are few. I hold them carefully now. What hurts isn't that I failed, it's that I delayed. I kept assuming I'd arrive at my life later, once things settled down. They never did. If you're listening to this, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I don't know your life, I only know mine. I know that the things I thought I was doing for others often kept me from being with them. I know that providing is not the same as knowing someone. I know that silence can feel polite while it quietly builds walls. You don't notice the last time something happens, the last bedtime story, the last drive together, the last chance to ask a question you're afraid of the answer to. By the time you realize it was the last time, it's already been gone for years. I used to believe meaning was something you earned after everything else was handled. I understand now that meaning is what you neglect while handling everything else. There are still moments of peace. I don't want to pretend there aren't. I watch the light move across the floor in the afternoon. I listen to birds I never noticed before. I remember people as they were, not as they became. Acceptance comes quietly too, not as relief, more like a soft closing of a door. I don't have many regrets about trying. I regret not stopping, not pausing long enough to see what was already enough. If this meant something to you, if it stirred something uncomfortable or familiar, sit with that feeling. Don't rush to explain it away. I'm 88 years old, and I finally understand what truly matters when almost everything is gone. It's not what you accomplished. It's who you were present for and how often you chose to be.